Hi mga kawawmat, in this video we will discuss transforming a statement into if-then form. Our objectives, we will determine whether a given statement is written in an if-then statement or not, and we will transform a statement into an if-then statement. So let's have first an activity. Determine whether a given statement is written in an if-then statement or not. Answer yes or no. So if it's written in an if-then statement, answer yes. If not, answer no. I'm giving you 1 minute. Okay, let's check. So, number 1, no. Number 2, yes. 3 is no. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, actually, madali lang maintindihan kung naka-if-then form siya kapag meron lang po tayong if before the hypothesis and then before the conclusion. So, pag meron po tayong mga if-then na word. So, that is written in if-then form. Okay? Or kung napanood nyo yung previous video tutorial natin, madali nyo na itong maiintindihan. So, itong mga no, ito yung gagawin nating if-then. So, paano natin gagawing if-then? Si 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 10. So, let us start. So, in writing a statement in an if-then form, so para maisulat natin siya into an if-then form, we need to identify first the hypothesis and the conclusion from the given statement. So, hindi pwedeng binigyan ka ng statement, gagawin mo siyang if-then form without knowing or without identifying first the hypothesis and the conclusion. So, dapat bago mo siya gawing if-then form, alam mo muna yung hypothesis at yung conclusion mo. Kasi kung alam mo ang hypothesis at conclusion, yung hypothesis mo, ilalagay mo siya after ni if. Yung conclusion mo, ilalagay mo after ni then. Okay? So, dapat tama po tayo ng pag-identify ng hypothesis and conclusion. Then, after identifying, we will write the hypothesis after if and the conclusion after then. Now, take note that the word if is not part of the hypothesis and the word then is not part of the conclusion. So, when we are writing the hypothesis and the conclusion, make sure na hindi po natin isasama si if at then. Yun po ay inilalagay natin before the statement of hypothesis and conclusion. Okay? So, let's start. Sagutan natin yung 6 na no kanina doon sa activity natin. So, let's have these 3. So, eating vegetables makes you grow healthy. So, identify muna natin alin dito ang hypothesis and conclusion. So, same procedure kapag hypothesis, underline natin. Kapag conclusion, rather, i-box natin. So, para yun nang lagi natin ginagamit. So, kung ikaw, lagi ka nanonood ng video ko sa if-then statement, yun po ang lagi kong ginagawa. Kapag hypothesis, naka-underline. Kapag conclusion, naka-box. Okay? So, this is our P. Okay, this is our hypothesis. And then, kapag kumakain ako ng vegetables, kakain tayo ng vegetables, what can you conclude? Or ano ang possible result nun? So, it makes you grow healthy. So, therefore, this is our conclusion. This is our cue. So, ito po muna ang gagawin. Dapat ma-identify mo muna yung iyong hypothesis and conclusion. So, eating vegetables, that is your hypothesis, and then makes you grow healthy, that is your conclusion. Okay. Now, i-ready natin si hypothesis at si conclusion. Okay. So, since if-then tayo, okay, if-then statement, si if, before siya ni hypothesis, si then, before siya ni conclusion. Okay, so lagay natin dito si if, dito si then. Okay, now, if you will try to read the given statement, if eating vegetables then makes you grow healthy, may there's something wrong, parang may mali sa ating composition, sa construction, 'di ba? So, if eating vegetables then makes you grow healthy, so aayusin natin siya. Okay? So, If you eat vegetables, then you will grow healthy. Okay. So, i-rephrase natin kahit papano. Okay, yung ating sentence when we are rewriting the given statement into if-then form. Okay, make sure to write your statement ng maayos. Okay? Next, a number ends in 7 is an odd number. So, a number ends in 7, this is your hypothesis, that is your P. And then, is an odd number, this is your Q, your conclusion. So, lagay tayo ng, this is your hypothesis, na-identify na natin at yung ating conclusion. Maglalagay tayo ng if and then. Okay, so kung babasahin natin, if a number ends in 7, then is an odd number. So, may mali. So, ayusin natin. So, if the number ends in 7, then it is odd. Okay? So, kahit hindi na po natin ilagay yung then it is odd number kasi meron naman siyang sinabi na dito na number. So, if the number ends in 7, then it is odd. Okay, next. Good weather makes a picnic more enjoyable. So, kapag merong good weather, this is your hypothesis, then it will make a picnic more enjoyable. This is your conclusion. Okay, this is your Q. So, write natin sa hypothesis and your conclusion. Write if and then, okay, and then construct. If good weather, then makes a picnic more enjoyable. So, ayusin natin. If the weather is good, then it makes a picnic more enjoyable. Okay, so ayusin natin yung ating construction ng sentence. Next, you get paid when you work. So when I work, when you work, that is your hypothesis. After you work, you get paid. That is your conclusion. That is your Q. So let's try to write the hypothesis when you work. Your conclusion, you get paid. So, again ha, hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon na kapag binigyan kayo ng statement, ito kagaya nito, ang hypothesis ay laging nasa unahan. Okay? So, hindi po palaging ganon. Minsan nandito siya. Okay? So, dapat make sure na tama ang pag-identify po natin ng ng hypothesis and conclusion. So, you write if, you write then. Okay? So, if when you work, then you get paid. Okay, so ayusin natin. If you work, then you get paid. Okay? Next, collinear points are points that lie on the same line. So, our points that lie on the same line, this is your hypothesis. Collinear points, this is your conclusion. So, this is your Q. So, lagay natin yung ating hypothesis and conclusion. Write if and then ayusin natin. If the points lie on the same line, then they are collinear. Okay? So, hindi ko na nilagay yung points dito kasi meron naman na siyang sinabi na points dito na describe. If the points lie on the same line, then they are collinear. Okay, next. So, A plus B is equal to A implies that B is equal to 0. So, this is your P. This is your your hypothesis. This is your conclusion. So, kapag kinuha ko to, sinolve ko to, ito ang kalalabasan. B is equal to 0. So, ito ang magiging conclusion natin. Ito ang result. Okay? So, P, Q. Okay, so, therefore, write natin ang ating hypothesis and your conclusion. Write if and then ayusin natin. If A plus B is equal to A, then B is equal to 0. Okay. Let's have more examples. So, help save the environment by recycling bottles, cans, and paper. So, by recycling bottles, cans, and paper, this is your P. What will happen? It will help you save the environment. This is your conclusion. Okay, so this is your P, this is your hypothesis, this is your conclusion. Now, so write natin, if you recycle bottles, cans, and paper, then you will help save the environment. Okay, so lagay lang po tayo dito ng if dun sa ating hypothesis, and then make sure to construct your statement correctly. If you recycle bottles, ayan, then you will help save the environment. Next. Sometimes, hindi mo na kailangan i-identify yung hypothesis and conclusion. Minsan, given siya. So, kung given na siya, edi mas madali. Okay? So, number 8, your hypothesis is you are kind, cheerful, and outgoing. Your conclusion is you will have more friends. Okay? So, kapag ganito, na-given ng hypothesis and conclusion, then there's no need to identify which one is the hypothesis and the conclusion. Kasi, hindi naman siya conditional statement. Okay? So, identified na siya. So, all you have to do is to rewrite the given hypothesis and conclusion into if-then form. So, that is, if you are kind, cheerful, and outgoing, then you will have more friends. So, this is our if-then form. Next. So, another example. So, identified na po ang ating hypothesis and conclusion. Our hypothesis is it rains tomorrow, the tennis match will be postponed. So, our if-then form is, if it rains tomorrow, then the tennis match will be postponed. Let's have more. So, minsan, binibigay naman yung statement and then given na yung ating hypothesis and conclusion. So, ang daming case na minsan statement lang, i-identify mo yung hypothesis and conclusion. Minsan naman given na si hypothesis and conclusion. Okay. So, ganito, given na si hypothesis, the equilateral triangle is equiangular. So, kagaya nito, yung hypothesis niya, the triangle is equilateral. So, tingnan nyo yung construction ng ating statement. So, make sure equilateral triangle. So, the triangle is equilateral. Make it as statement. Okay? It is equiangular. Okay, so gawin nating if then. So, if a triangle is equilateral, then it is equiangular. Today is Sunday if tomorrow is Monday. So, meron tayong word na if dito. So, yan ang palatandaan natin, no? Pag nakita mo ay may if, so automatic, this is your hypothesis. Okay? So, tomorrow is Monday. Today is Sunday is your conclusion. So, let us rewrite the given state hypothesis and conclusion into if-then form. If tomorrow is Monday, then today is Sunday. Okay. So, I have here, write each statement in if-then form, then determine if each statement is a good definition or not. So, after writing the given statements into if-then form, identify natin kung good definition ba siya or not. Pag sinabi natin good definition, enough ba yung definition niya or yung condition niya para makonclude natin na ganon? Okay? So, parang ganon yan. Pag sinabi natin good definition, enough ba yung binigay niyang condition para makonclude mo ito o para magkaroon ka ng ganong conclusion? Pag hindi, that is not a good definition. Okay? So, number 1, supplementary angles form a linear pair. So, ayusin natin into if-then form. If the angles are supplementary, then they form a linear pair. So, gawin muna natin siyang lahat na if-then. Mamaya natin i-identify kung a good definition or not. Okay. So, if the angles are supplementary, then they form a linear pair. Number 2, an equiangular triangle is a triangle with all angles congruent. So, if the angles of a triangle are congruent, then it is equiangular. So, this is your conclusion. Ito ang conclusion natin dyan. Next, all prime number are odd numbers. If a number is prime, then it is odd. Okay, number 4. If a polygon is equilateral, then it is a regular polygon. And number 5, an honest student does not cheat during an examination. So, if a student does not cheat during an examination, then he or she, since this is a person, so we can make use of pronoun, then he or she is honest. Okay, so let us now identify if the given if-then statements is a good definition or not. So number 1, if angles are supplementary, then they form a linear pair. Is this a good definition? Not a good definition. Why? Because not all supplementary angles form a linear pair. So this is not a good definition. Number 2, if the angles of a triangle are congruent, then it is equiangular. So this is a good definition because the definition of an equiangular triangle is all angles of a triangle are congruent. So this is the exact definition. Next, number 3. If a number is prime, then it is odd. So this is not a good definition. Why? Because not all prime numbers are odd numbers. So let's say for example, 2. 2 is a prime but that is not an odd number. Okay? Ano pa ba? Yun na lang, kagaya ng 2. 2 is a prime number but it's not odd number. So this is not a good definition. Next, if a polygon is equilateral, then it is a regular polygon. So this is not a good definition. Kasi pag sinabi nating equilateral, this is referring to a triangle. Okay? So if a polygon is equilateral, ang regular kasi ginagamit natin siya to all types of polygon. So pag sinabing regular, all sides are congruent. Okay? Next, if a student does not cheat during an examination, then he or she is honest. So this is a good definition. So kapag an honest student can be defined by not cheating. So this is a good definition. Let's have more examples. What can you conclude from the given conditional statement? So dito naman kayo ang magbigay ng conclusion. So number 1, if it's not raining, so this is the if-then statement. If it is not raining, then I am happy. So if I am not happy, then what is the conclusion? What can you conclude? If it's not raining, then I am happy. I am not happy. So your conclusion is it is raining. So masaya siya kapag hindi umuulan. So kung hindi siya masaya, ibig sabihin umulan. Umuulan. Okay? Number 2, all my students love geometry. Audrey is my student. Therefore, what can you conclude or what is the conclusion? Audrey loves geometry. Since all my students love geometry and Audrey is my student, therefore Audrey loves geometry. Next, if I get good grades, my mom promises to give me a new cell phone. My mom gave me a new cell phone. So therefore, what can you conclude? What is your conclusion? I had good grades. So ibig sabihin, nakakuha ako ng mataas na grades kasi binigyan ako ni mom ng bagong cellphone.